Right, it all comes from within.
Within.
Yeah, and again, whatever is the physical manifest, it's what's going on in the soul, like Michelangelo said. And you know, Matthew, I am so elated that you've been able to touch on these issues. The homelessness, the stereotypes, what technology is doing for us to reduce some of the homophobia, restorative justice, all the things that build a stronger social life together. And, you know, in closing, what is one thing other than hope and faith can you say will keep the world together during World War III? A breakdown of the world, and a prelude to a global society and a one world order. What can you say out of San Luis Obispo?
Find the answers for yourself. Think for yourself. Question everything that's given to you, much like Timothy Leary said. And make sure that whatever you do in life, you're trying to not harm someone and not making it harder for someone just because it makes it easier for you. That right there will create communities that are pretty strong in fabric, and they don't tear. They can support all the weight of the problems that we need, or that we have.
Thank you. That brings chills to my body. And if it wasn't for the gay voice today, there would be no voice greater than the oceans, the Madonna Inn historical landmark on 101. It was built by Alex. You know, the fantastic coffee culture we have in San Luis Obispo, and Randolph Hearst Castle up in San Simeon. It is the voice of gay-straight alliance that brings us into a strong community together. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. Dankeschön.
Domo arigato gozaimasu.
Ich spreche Deutsch nicht so gut. Well, that was a long little talk, but
Are we gonna?
I really like you. We touched on some awesome areas, don't you think?
Yeah.
Something like that. So,
felt like I was...
a lot of sick stuff goes through the head when you find people who have reached, you know, a certain lowering of their own standard. Mm-hmm. It's nice to be able to meet up with that and know that you can, and not call it dirty and back away like a little pussy.
Right. Earlier you were bringing up that you know,
that's being a man in America, to play with fire. Is the camera on?
Yes.
Because that's great information. And that's what got our country in mess. By going down to the standard of lying in business. Harvard University teaches in a business class it's sometimes okay to be deceiving if it means it's making money. Fuck Harvard University. Those aren't my values. Sorry.
I believe that there's some level of...
George Bush came out of Harvard University. You know, he doesn't have my values either. You know, so...
In business
or... what are we educating our people to learn? Business what?
In business or education or anywhere that you're dealing with other people, sometimes it's best to not be forthcoming with some information.
That way, not share information.
Right, because either that person's not ready to understand that information and they'll take it a completely wrong way, or they will
use it against you for their own benefit.
Exactly. So, you know, there's a certain amount of self-protection and understanding other people and what they need in their life. And once you understand what they need in their life, you might have to hold back information that might be harmful to them.
So we have to refrain from being intimate on every contact that we meet in public or in an interview. Right. And if it could be substantiated with education and maybe your social entrepreneuring your own future, since you know your future was not handed to you because your father's in prison, right. You know, then and it can strengthen other men, then it's not going to be used against you as long as Voice of Obispo has a voice. You know, no one's going to fuck with Matthew. Okay? You want to fuck with Matthew, you go through me. Okay?
Uh-oh.
And if you fuck with me, you deal with Chris Crocker.
Ideally,
And if you deal with Chris Crocker, if you want to fuck with Chris Crocker, you deal with, you go back to Matthew. Because Matthew's gonna... What were we gonna say? Is it getting a little late for you?
no, I'm just saying that ideally that everyone shares all the information. That's where I see that the world would be most peaceful, is if everyone was completely honest with each other and open with every information that they have, there'd be a new age of knowledge and prosperity. But having having that right now, people just aren't ready for it. I don't believe in like what the NSA is doing and stuff like that. All these like data mining and stuff like that. I don't believe in like roving wiretaps and stuff like that. But I think that it's time that people start educating themselves about the world, about themselves, and what they can do to help